Citizens of the Reject Nation, we're all going to become real boys and girls today. Isn't that right, John?
I've been dreaming for this day all my life.
I know you have. You talk about it every day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch Pinocchio, the Disney Plus movie. At the time we're watching this, no reviews have lifted, so we don't know if it's horrible or great. So we're going to be in different clothes by the time the review starts, so that way we can formulate our opinion to the masses. No, we're going to react to this right now. Nothing to influence the brain other than, other Disney movies that have come before, including the original Pinocchio film. So guys, leave a like. That'd be very much appreciated. Also, subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified when our reaction for something comes up that you might enjoy. Full-length reaction watch-alongs for Pinocchio and many other shows that we cover exclusively are at our Patreon page. Reaction highlights and watch-alongs included for super sexy rejects. Lastly, the team at Prepper. Thank you for helping us edit down these highlights. Let's swing into action.
My travels took me to a quaint little village.
Love his little cricket song, each jump.
Not too shabby.
You are canceled.
Well, I think he looks very much like him. Very much.
Looks like the drawings, that's for sure.
Please, sell me the cuckoo clock.
That clock is not for sale, as I have told you many times.
I will give you 20 lira. But if you cannot sell your clock, so why do you have a shop?
It's complicated.
I like the half-Italian accent he's doing.
What is your name? Now, what should it be, huh? What should it be?
Dead boy.
Son 2.
Pine, Occhio, Pinocchio. Huh? Pinocchio. Yes, yes. Yes, girl. Do you love the name Pinocchio? Yes, yes.
Huh. Live action Geppetto seems insane.
He's a little kooky. He's probably schizophrenic.
No, no. Why? Because he likes you. Even Cleo thinks he's very, very handsome.
That's a hot fish.
That's a very hot fish.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Woody!
What the hell?
Donald.
Oh my God.
Roger!
Holy
Jeepers.
crap.
It's the wall of branded clocks.
I had no clue they would do such a thing. This movie just got awesome.
All these other properties
Now I
canonically
love
existed
it.
then.
It's the wishing star. Star, light, star, bright, first star I see tonight. I wish. I wish.
I wish I may.
To add more IPs to the wall.
I want the rights to Warner Brothers clocks.
If I was to tell you, you would think I was...
Drunk.
This is Italy in the 1800s. You could kill a boy and stuff him.
You could just kidnap someone else's kid.
Just stitch them back together, man.
Jumping jeepers, he's alive.
You can rest easy when you're drunk.
All right. Everyone can relax. I'm here now. What seems to be the... Oh, yes, I see what the problem is.
The fairy, not a whitey.
Well, this isn't a blue fairy.
Oh, the good Geppetto made a wish from the depths of his heart, and so I'm here. I'm the blue fairy.
I'm the blue fairy.
No, I'm the blue fairy.
No, I'm the blue fairy.
Oh, I see what the problem is here.
If I only had a brain.
Henceforth, you are the high keeper of the knowledge of right and wrong, and a trusted counselor during moments of temptation. Arise, Sir Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, new threads.
Your dreams come
Pinocchio, did you hear anything?
I sure did.
All right, I heard something too. And now that you can talk.
Hello, Pops.
Whoa!
My God, doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
I wish that my...
I know. A real boy. But guess what? I'm almost a real boy, and I can become one.
I think what he really wanted was a resurrected boy.
An almost real boy! An almost real boy!
And so, Pinocchio became part of Geppetto's little family.
He put that boy to work.
They became a stable, well-adjusted household.
Pinocchio! Maybe it is time for you to go to school.
Really, Father? Really?
You might want to prepare the other boys for what they're getting into, man.
Nah, I'll be fine.
I will be right here when you get back. We will eat dinner precisely at the stroke of 5.
Got it, Father. The stroke of 5.
Let me go.
You're hurting
is
my hand.
Getting uncomfortable. Man, that boy's gonna freak out some kids.
I would chaperone him for his first day out in the world.
Yes, well, going to school, it will be good for him.
School? Jumping jeepers, what time is it?
Ain't nothing more dangerous to a conscience than a trip to school.
This little puppet is running around loose on the streets without a conscience. Can you imagine the trouble he's gonna get into?
Well, I wouldn't want that on my conscience. Okay, Mr. Right or Wrong, hold on to your hat. Oh, no!
Was this supposed to be a 3D movie?
I could see that.
Stromboli! So that old rascal's back in town. Gideon, remember the time I tied strings on you and passed you off as a...
Is that Keegan-Michael Key? Apple being original, remake being shit, okay. Or turning the original to shit.
Visual metaphor.
I'm going to school so I can learn a bunch of stuff to be a real boy and make my father proud.
A real boy? Why on earth would you want to be real when you can be...
Famous.
Famous?
Yes! Famous!
But I want to be real.
Yes, my boy, but did you know many people say that you're not actually real until everybody knows about you?
This is true.
Has such a personality, such a profile, such a physique. Why, he is a natural-born actor, right, Gideon? And not just an actor, an entrepreneur, nay, an influencer.
God.
And won't your father be proud?
That was in the original script.
Oh, that's right.
Pardon me, folks, pardon me!
I feel like this movie is still a work in progress.
They're testing it on us now.
Son, remember what I said about temptation? Well, that's him.
Oh, no. That's Mr. Honest John. He's my agent.
Honest John? Pinocchio, as a rule of thumb, when somebody calls themselves honest, they ain't. Especially if they're an agent.
I want to go to school.
Out! Get out!
Oh.
School is for real children, not the ridiculous puppets. Puppies belong in a puppet show.
It's a miracle of God.
Yeah. You should be bowing down to this thing.
Out of here!
Let me out! This is an outrage, an atrocity!
I don't think that teacher likes me.
Oh, who cares what he thinks? His pedagogy is completely outdated. Is his...
You know, when I saw a trailer for this, I was like, it should have been in the theaters. I'm like, this looks like a Disney Plus movie.
Yeah. Once you see it on a TV, it becomes clear.
I present to you something that you will absolutely refuse to believe. The toy who thinks he's a boss.
So this movie is really like a commentary on trying to monetize anything.
I got no strings to hold me down, to make me fret, make me fret.
Look at that miracle.
Look at that idiot.
Look at that stupid miracle.
You can't stick your nose in every plank that comes your way.
So I have fun. I'm not tied up to anyone. We've got strings that you can see. There are no strings on me.
We can build children without having to give birth.
Yes. Just got to find that wishing star every night.
Nope, that nose expands, so you don't want to put your ass up there, man. I have made fire.
It's a tribute to the original story where they burn his legs off.
I was actually attributing Tom Hanks and Castaway.
I have made fire!
It's like the girls doing friends.
Kiss her, you fool.
Basta! Oh. What's this nonsense? Nobody in my show performs for free. Now, Pat, we leave in an hour. And you?
You got to pay for that.
Oh, my little Pinocchio. I was scared to death you got lost or stolen. We wouldn't want that now, would we? In an hour we go.
Ah, shit.
Pinocchio!
I seriously think the secret director of Dumbo directed this.
Stromboli's a horrible, mean man, but we're going to help you.
Leave me alone.
We're going to figure out a way to get you out of that cage. Did you hear what I said? We're going to help you. Pinocchio, look at me.
You were seducing me with your puppet. Distracted me.
Mr. Stromboli said I could go home and tell my father I got famous. But then he locked me up.
Ah, so now you don't trust anybody?
Well, I trust you, sorta.
Thank you.
Wait till you find out the truth about her.
We puppets and puppeteers are going to take back the money Stromboli stole from us and escape. And we will treat all the members of our troupe fairly and kindly and...
No strings attached.
Dude, that woman's very good at her job.
Yeah.
Her ability to project her voice like that in this weather.
And to do the whole, like, ventriloquism, like, not moving your mouth much.
Hey, Pinocchio! Over here! It's Jiminy! I can't believe it. We're so close and he's so far!
Oh, yeah.
I really think you could have probably still leveraged underneath through the wet dirt.
Learn to dig.
And then lifted it up, Jiminy.
I never wanted to be famous.
Sorry, kiddo. That's not the way I remember it.
But I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to go to school.
Hey!
It's true. All of those people cheering and applauding.
Looks weird in live action, I'm just saying.
Imagine that in 3D.
Believe me. Oops. Okay, that last part wasn't true. But everything I said up until then was.
You know what they say about guys with big noses, man?
You guys seen the first episode of The Boys season 3?
Oh, no. Jiminy's almost the right size, you know?
I don't want to be a real boy. Ow! I had to reach the key. I'm sorry, Jiminy.
Being real is in your heart. That's what being real is all about.
Keeping it real.
I'm sorry I didn't listen to you outside of school. Gotcha!
This is the weirdest Griffith Observatory movie I've ever seen.
Presented in IMAX.
You've got to be careful because sometimes when peers get in a group, they like to pressure.
Jiminy! Where'd he go?
There's that Polar Express Christmas Carol direction I was expecting.
Let's get some chaos going.
Play
Maiden Street. A little wooden boy.
Look at him! He's made out of wooden sleds! I'm Lamquick. What's your name, Sled?
Let's see his face.
Pinocchio?
Pinocchio? Who? Pinocchio.
Guys, you kids are behaving like a bunch of jackasses.
Oh. You were on the corner, so it got collected. Come on.
Oh, okay. But I need to find my conscience.
Conscience?
What's so funny?
Your conscience is a loss.
Is that Luke Evans?
It's the greatest joy joint in the world. No cops, no parents, no rules. You can tear the place apart, and nobody says a word.
My God,
After
Captain
hours.
Spaulding.
Very fortunate that you're coming with us. Because Pleasure Island will be the most life-altering experience you will ever have.
Well, Mr. Coachman, it sure sounds fun. But I don't trust you.
Ooh.
You're behaving like a horse's ass.
Smacking asses, Jiminy Cricket.
You take the fall and ruin it for everyone!
Real boys always want more.
Always want more.
That's a fair point.
Okay, then. I say we all go.
Peer pressure accomplished.
Welcome to Pleasure Island. Come right inside, enjoy the ride and see the show. There's so much fun here.
Holy shit.
And no one is ever going to tell you no.
Look at that, Sleds!
Dead men tell no tales.
Here you go, gents. Have a tall one. They're on the house. Better yet, have two. Bottoms up.
That sure looked like Luke Evans.
Wow.
That kid's crazy!
We just killed that boy down there.
Bleeding out from the ground.
This is like every amusement ride in Disneyland combined into one.
Definitely back in Polar Express territory.
There's not even a track here to ride.
It's just that well designed.
That's pretty cool.
Degrade school. Great puns on Pleasure Island. Right in the keister.
That jerk got a pilot under him! That's for sure!
And third-degree burns.
They look like my father's clocks.
Oh, yeah? Watch this.
No.
That clock looks like his father.
Geppetto clock.
Pleasure Island. Is this where Pinocchio is? Oh my goodness. This is a serious crisis. A catastrophe!
Pinocchio went to Vegas.
They shot all of Tom Hanks' scenes in a week.
I wonder where everybody is.
Holy moly.
Jeepers. Ooh.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, that's freaky.
How come you didn't bust any of them cuckoo clocks?
It just didn't feel right.
Listen to Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Well, I guess you ain't transformed into a complete jerk yet.
I don't want to be a jerk. I want to be a real boy.
Some boys are
Same
jerks.
difference, yeah.
I wish I still did have a conscience.
Pinocchio!
Ooh.
This poor cricket.
I know. Some thanks I get.
Oh, brother. It's like I've dropped into H-E double hockey stick.
Satan's asshole?
You gotta do what you gotta do to win. You're wrong, Lampy. I still call what you did cheating.
You think something terrible is gonna happen to us?
What's in this root beer?
Wow, he's smart to put that together really fast.
You sound just like a don.
Did that come out of me?
Uh-huh.
My God, this is a body horror movie.
Cronenocchio.
Help me, please! Anybody! Anybody, please! Just call anybody! Help me! Please! Mama! Mama!
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Oh no! What's happening? Oh, what do I do?
You embrace the new look.
Make it part of your show.
Wow, that 3D is so real.
It's like it's popping right out of the screen.
There they go! Oh, faster! Don't let them get to the stage!
It's cool that his tail's wooden.
Bollocks. A wooden donkey would have been worth a bleeding fortune.
In a salt mine, would it?
Father! It's me, Pinocchio! I'm home!
Maybe he's asleep.
You know what I love about this movie? You can tell Robert Zemeckis really put his heart into it. His heart and his soul into this.
Sailed out to sea. Am I not speaking clearly?
Sophia, how?
How do you think? In a boat. He needed to get to Pleasure Island to look for Pinocchio, so he sold all his clocks and he bought a boat.
Aww.
Way to go, Pinocchio.
Life's work.
And you know what? You becoming a real boy, can't replace those goddamn clocks.
I don't see Geppetto anywhere. I hope I'm wrong, but that sure looks like Strombolis to me. Quick, under the pier.
Blend in with the wood.
Now, Pinocchio, this is how you kill a man.
This is how you make a ship.
Learning to survive on the streets as a cricket.
If you lie and then cut off the tip of your nose.
Pinocchio!
No way. Is that what happens in the movie?
I think this character is like created for this movie.
You started your own puppet show?
We sure did. Last night, the Carabinieri arrested Stromboli and put him in jail.
Wow! I have to stay and find my father.
Pinocchio, something tells me the decision you made is the right one.
You didn't even question the donkey ears, man.
No.
This world is so used to the weird shit.
Live puppet boy, half donkey.
Talking animals.
Yeah, anthropomorphic fox.
Perhaps I'll see you next year when we come back to put on a show in Siena.
E Pinocchio too.
Aww.
Until next year.
She is such a good marionette puppeteer.
I know, the way she can project her voice.
She can do a perfect show from anywhere.
No boats! Nothing! Only water as far as the eye can see!
We'll find him! Positive thinking!
I mean, Pinocchio swam to land, no problem.
Yeah. He's like a speedboat.
Boo?
Yes! A dinghy!
A dinghy.
Did you hear something, Figaro?
Why would you bring your cat?
This is a miracle! Pinocchio!
I'm coming to you!
What? No, I'm coming to you! Cleo Figaro, look! He can run on water. Well, of course he can run on water. He's made of wood. I'm coming, Pinocchio!
Jesus Christ was made of wood.
You got kicked out of school?
Yeah, for being a puppet. So I joined the puppet show and became famous.
You became famous?
Yes, did a puppet show and made lots of money. But then I got kidnapped and was locked in a bird cage, so I had to tell a bunch of fibs to Jiminy so my nose would grow, so I could... Well, we found out you sold all your clocks to buy a boat so you could look for me, and now we're here.
You did all that in one day? My goodness, I haven't done a fraction of that in my whole life.
I'm sorry, Father. I apologize for all the trouble I caused.
I didn't think he was that far away.
Yeah, you should have been here by now.
Safe and sound. Now, we can go home again, and we'll be all together.
Where is it?
Happy!
Wow. Monstro.
It's Monstro! It's Monstro!
Now that would have been cool to see in the theaters.
Wowie.
That one shot was pretty sweet.
Yep.
He's asleep. Wake up! My friend's in there! Open up, you big blubbermouth!
Father! Father!
Ah, Pinocchio! Pinocchio, you got swallowed too!
Father! Father!
Pinocchio, you got swallowed too.
What a relief. That's the only way to kill him. You gotta fight him with wood.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Oh, so happy.
I feel like this movie just started getting good like 15 minutes ago.
Finally coalesced.
It looks to me like everything comes in, but nothing goes out, except the other way, presumably, but that is not a good option.
You know, Geppetto, I don't feel like you really give a shit about your cat. You've tortured it.
You're always putting it in
Scared
harm's way.
You unnecessarily brought it on this adventure. I have made fire. Fire.
Open up! I need to get in there! Open up, I say! Open sesame! Well, what do you know?
Hot boxing.
He always was good at those like animation tracking shots.
I think he's beginning to get irritated by the smoke.
It must be tickling his nose!
Oh.
Oh boy.
Pinoc!
Jiminy! Grab on!
You know, Jiminy, sometimes I feel like you're just getting in the way.
That cricket is your conscience?
That cricket is your conscience.
Seemed quite upset by that.
This is
Get ready, Father!
ridiculous. It's the way it looks. So silly.
And yet it's like so breakneck paced that Whoa. No. Caught in the undertow.
Oh no. Now he's going to be lost on an island.
You gotta give him CPR, Pinocchio.
Jiminy, thank goodness! I thought you were a goner!
Look! He sneezed us back toward land!
That is actually
Wow.
quite terrifying. It's making the engine sound. I love it.
We're going 80 miles an hour, Pinocchio.
Faster! Spin those cloud hoppers!
Yikes. That's surprisingly super scary. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
You're almost there, Pinocchio!
Geppetto's gonna throw the cat.
Take Figaro. Whoa.
Father, talk to me! Say something! Figaro is here, and Cleo. Don't die, Father. Please don't die.
When did Pinocchio learn about death today?
Your dreams come.
Pikachu.
I dreamt that we had all been swallowed by a whale.
Yes, Father, but it wasn't a whale. It was a sea monster, and we got out.
It's a big Lovecraftian tentacle whale.
Now, I remember you saved us.
This woke Pinocchio stuff changed it from a whale to...
Not my monstro.
You honestly did try with all your heart, and that makes you a truthful boy. And you know what else it makes you? Unselfish and very, very brave.
That's all the things you need to be.
There isn't a single thing I would change about you. I am so very proud, and I love you so very much.
I love you too, Father.
Pinocchio, do you know the way?
We'll follow that light.
So, in the end, Pinocchio did prove himself brave, honest, and unselfish.
And then he turned into Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
But I do know one thing for sure. In his heart, Pinocchio is as real as any real boy could ever be.
Oh my God, it was just about him accepting himself.
Aww.
What?
He doesn't even need to be real. He is real.
Bullshit.
What is real anyway?
Coward. Screenplay by Zemeckis, too.
That's right, man.
Did he just rewrite a few lines?
And, you know, added the character or two that the higher-ups decided they needed to add.
What is this ending credit font that Zemeckis loves so much? It is so generic.
I know, it's odd. And it's almost normal.
It's a great opportunity. Hope we get a mid-credit scene of Walt Disney walking into Geppetto's shop going, I don't want your clocks. I want those characters.
I want the rights to all of your characters.
In the second post-credit scene, just so this movie really just triples down.
Uh-huh.
As he does turn into a real boy. He turns into a real black boy.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think it's
I
weird.
don't think you're my actual
just,
son. I don't think you're my real boy. Go back to the puppet.
What do you mean, Dad?
Dude, there was a Jeremy Johns listed as producer. Man's moving up.
I feel like I had one of those dreams I barely remember.
I know.
And then I tried telling it to
moving so
someone. I'm like,
fast.
I had a dream that there was like a live-action Pinocchio movie.
Yeah, there was like
this movie
a bunch of Disney clocks and Keegan-Michael Key, and then there were Pleasure Island and
looked a little weird.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket was Gordon Levitt. Oh, dude, that Luke Evans got some pipes on him.
He was also in the live-action version of.
He was Gaston in The Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, and
he was Dracula Untold.
Yes,
live action.
and
yes, and he is Shaw's brother in The Fast and Furious.
yes, but he's also in.
He's also in.
I know it's hard, right? What else is he in?
Okay, how many Disneys have they?
Oh, I
remade
knew he
now?
was in. I don't know what else he's in, honestly.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, wait, there's a big one he's in. I know there's a huge one he's in.
Okay. Luke Evans movie.
It's a huge one.
Huge Luke Evans movie.
It was not a Luke Evans movie, but he had a big character in it.
Yes. Yes, he did, and I can almost see it. But it's not coming to mind right now.
It's a big character.
Big, like physically big?
No, it's just an important character.
Okay. Not yeah, like important but not a lot of screen time character?
No, he does have a lot of screen time.
Okay. Clearly this is getting me closer to the answer. I'm going to hate myself when I hear what it is.
You will. It's a big one.
Oh.
Jeez, I don't know how you're not pulling
Yeah,
this.
I know. Is it a sports movie?
No. He might have been in a sports movie. I don't know.
Like, isn't Luke Evans in somebody's football movie or something? Golly.
God, this is really embarrassing for you.
I know. Fast and Furious, Dracula Untold, Beauty and the Beast. What else?
Okay, I'm gonna toss a coin to your Witcher. Who sings that?
The Bard.
Oh my God, I don't know how you're not getting this. This is like the easiest clue I could have dropped for you.
Now I'm just thinking about The Witcher. Now I'm just thinking of Witcher
Well,
characters.
if I give you another clue, it's gonna be too easy.
Okay. It's that kind of era. Like
I'd say
like
so.
a fantasy.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. It's not Dracula Untold. Does he have long hair in it?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
That's how you're gonna be upset when you realize
know.
what movie I'm
No,
talking
I'm
about.
already upset. I'm already upset because it's
I
like
don't want to drop any more hints
it's like I
because
can
I'm like, there's a really big reason why you ought to be pulling this right
in
now.
my mind's eye, there's a spotlight, but there's just this like fuzzy shadow on what the spotlight is actually illuminating. It's this
man.
movie, and
Ain't over like $1 billion.
Come
on, I'm narrowing it down.
he's in The Hobbit.
Oh, jeez,
He's
yeah.
in
How
The
many
Hobbit.
hits can
He's
this man get?
and he's one of the better parts of that movie too. He is one of the better characters in those movies. He's the man from the lake town who has to get all the people together. Okay, all right. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
His name Bart, or is it Bart?
I think it is Bard. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. We got there. We made it.
Yeah, we did.
Now, if we can name one more Luke Evans.
There's none. I guarantee it.
There's this one, and that's it. It's okay.
He auditioned for that one movie, and that was the start.
Yep.
Never climbed his way up.
You're
there.
hired. And I got a whole slate of movies for you.
I don't think there's a post-credit scene.
Something tells me there's not a post-credit scene.
Something tells me Robert Zemeckis wanted to
Get this over with. Such a strange combination of visuals and pace.
Oh man, that was
Pacing.
terribly paced.
Well, yeah, it does really seem like in a rush to just like, okay, we got this character, we got this scene, we went to this place, we went to that place. All right, kids, you happy? All right, we're done.
I mean, the classic Pinocchio's a classic. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So there's some of the songs are definitely original.
Yeah.
I don't remember I remember like literally the main plot points of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Puppet show, donkeys, whale.
Yeah, Pleasure Island. You're a kid and you get that rush of like, oh, it's a Jackass. It's a kids movie.
Yeah.
No, I think they added some stuff here.
Plenty. Which really helped the movie.
It really helped it breeze by. I saw the movie growing up a number of times. It's definitely been a long time since I revisited it, and I've been on the ride several times. And the ride is like a great Cliff's Notes of the movie.
That's what this felt like.
It does.
It felt more like one of those 4DX rides at Universal Studios.
Yes, we made a Pinocchio ride.
Like a ride that goes on a little too long.
Yes, and isn't as impressive as it seems to think it is.
Yeah.
I was
Which
like,
it
this is a glorified simulator.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 3D model. You're in a theater full of a bunch of people. It's just shaking around. Things are poking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. The occasional fog effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying, though.
It tried some stuff, I think.
I don't care.
Tell me how you really feel.
I don't. I really feel like Robert Zemeckis really phoned this one in. Like, I'm shocked to see his name attached as top billing for writing credit. Like, holy balls. You wrote this?
Yeah. I
don't feel like you did.
You co-wrote, produced, and directed this, and from the outside, part of me was like, well, this seems like a perfect Robert Zemeckis movie, and something that would play to his clear predilections for animation, CGI, motion capture, all that jazz, and his sense of heart and whimsy, and yeah, it's weird. I didn't feel...
I love the movie trailer. I love the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer was awesome. And I was like, oh, damn, this could really be something special.
Yeah, this could bring him back.
Zemeckis, Tom Hanks reuniting. That's amazing. I'd be so surprised if people really... I mean, we're not the target market, I get it, but didn't Chip and Dale just win some shit?
I think it won an Emmy for like best TV movie or something like that.
Oh my God, I needed The Witches too.
I mean, I liked...
And welcome to Marwin.
Welcome to Marwin. Ooh.
He's looking at his filmography here.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, he's got Jiggle back from The Walk.
So his last truly well-received movie was 2015.
Yeah. And that, is based on a true story that probably doesn't require a lot of the shit that he loves to do.
And you just watch him lose it over time.
It is a bummer, and he is one of those guys. I've heard a few people in life say that like CGI is one of the worst things to happen to Tim Burton, and you can sort of chart the change in his career as he discovers and really starts to use that. And I feel like you could apply a similar theory to Robert Zemeckis.
Well, while they added a couple of things here, which I thought I don't really. Like I said, I don't remember I'm just going to talk about this movie for what exactly it is. Because they obviously added some stuff, so it's not just a 100% shot-for-shot remake, even though a lot of times it is just doing what the original animated movie did.
Yeah.
It felt... The pacing was... Yeah, it just felt like it needed another pass on the script. It needed another pass on the writing. It needed another pass on the editing, it really seemed like to me.
Yeah.
It was just kind of... It was moving so fast, and I don't remember the original enough to get lost in. Oh yeah, I remember the original. Look at them doing the original shit. Like I'm just not lost enough in it. And if it was exactly like the original, then I'd be like, they just did what the original did. So it's kind of like unless they really expand upon it. And I just found myself going, what really helped this is if it really took Pinocchio's perspective and kind of adapted some of the wonder to it. from his perspective, as opposed to just have a boy speak with an inquisitive voice the whole time, which I guess is a lot like the animated movie. But you have so much more working for the animated movie with the tone, with the spirit, and the animation overall, like aesthetically, provides just a completely different emotion versus a combination of CGI animation and live action. It's not going to evoke the same emotion other than kind of reminding you of the original animation. That's all it's really going to do. So you really do have to kind of try to do some different things here. And the time I felt like it was really singing for me personally was when in the last like 15 minutes of this film, when they're at the waters and then Latina leg girl shows up, or whatever her name is, I don't know.
Sabina.
She shows up, and the whale incident, and like the comedy with like when they're kind of making fun of what happened, and it seemed to have a real fun sense of whimsy about it. Like it felt genuine in that moment, with a tad hint of you're in a rush to get out of here, but beyond, it still felt like fun. Whereas, you know, when you do, I feel like actually the opening scene is kind of a major problem. With opening bits, there's kind of a major problem with this movie. Speaks towards what one of the problems of this movie is the conflict of not really knowing what to do, and you know, you have the opening, which is so much the original Pinocchio film, and then when it started showing like the Disney IPs, I'm like you can't be Chippendale Rescue Rangers though, you know?
Yeah, like it is so
it's so in your face too.
It's so in your face, and it doesn't do anything to be like, oh, that's. I feel like there's a version of that could be like, oh, that's cute or clever, but it's just like, no, look at every clock based on one of our properties versus like, oh, here's one that you could catch if you're looking really close or something like that. It does scream, remember all the stuff we own.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not even treated like a clever Easter egg. It's just really, it's right in your face.
If it would have been just been Roger Rabbit, that would have been fine.
Yes, because it's Zemeckis. And it would have been cooler if it would have been cooler if, like, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, wait a minute, in the background, is that a Woody one? Like, that would have been neater. And then, you know, people make their breakdown videos, and you're like, holy shit, oh my god.
This seemed designed to get people going, I need to get one of those clocks. Is someone on Etsy going to make one of those clocks? Or is Disney going to put those out?
So what I mean by that is it just showed me, like, okay, this is at odds with itself of what Disney does today and Disney of old, and it doesn't know how to be either one properly. And there was kind of, to me, that's just sort of the issue with this film. Like, that scene in and of itself is not really a problem for me. It's more of how this film plays out, because a lot, like Pinocchio, the animated one, I believe, is a shorter runtime than this. But like I said, there's so much.
It feels more substantial and lived in.
And because of all the other aspects that I was working for it, versus here, which just felt like choppy and noisy, and Pinocchio instead reads as like, I'm not really on board for his goals. It's like a weird thing to say about Pinocchio, the character, but like, I'm not really feeling the drive here for you, or the why. Like, I know he's determined, I get it. There was an actual interesting, my mind trailed off quite a few times during this movie, but it trailed off at one point, and then the movie at the end said something that I was like, oh, I was actually thinking this would have been more interesting if they did that thing. When Geppetto is saying, I know you probably wanted to be someone else. You probably thought I wanted you to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that. But the truth of it, I realized what I really wanted is you. And I'm like, oh, that was what I was thinking what would have really helped save this whole film.
Yeah.
Is if there is kind of just an awkward thing in the beginning where Geppetto and Pinocchio, where Geppetto like doesn't really quite know how to receive him, because there's so much emphasis on, I molded you after my son.
Yes. Who I am not able to let go of, and my wife, who you are also a reminder of. Yeah.
I know it's a little dark, but I think like teeter a little bit there just for your setup, you know?
He's human.
And then deal with, but he's not my son. He's like this strange thing that's come to life, and then Pinocchio feels like I have to prove myself and become a real boy to get my father's approval. Then Geppetto feels responsible for why Pinocchio is running off on his own now and trying to do his thing. Like if he decides to go, because now that you're adapting, that you got to adapt it.
Yes.
You know, and that means change some. And if you change some of those core ingredients for your live action weird hybrid, then you got a real movie on your hands that could have the tonality and the sweeping heart. That way, when you get to the end, you feel like there's an arc for both of these characters. Because I'm like, I don't really know what the arc was here. They kind of said a lot of shit that I was like, it doesn't really feel like, what did he learn necessarily?
Well, yeah, I feel like there could have been an opportunity. Like, as I recall the original Pinocchio, there is this quality of, he finds his way out into the world and is swept up in this sort of revolving door of these different people and places, and life sweeps you up like that. And I think that, at the outset, you could have had, he's obviously being, preyed upon, and he's having ideas put in his head by people around. And if you had not made it so that when he leaves the house, the adventure is on and we're going. And I feel like if you had a little bit of back and forth of Geppetto trying to wrangle, his boy going out into the world for the first time, you could easily set up that emotional back and forth of like he's trying to guide Pinocchio on the right path, but Pinocchio doesn't understand, and he is very trusting and naive, so he wants to go experience certain things with, all these people that he's meeting. And you could have, an easy way of getting it to a point where Geppetto is blaming himself for Pinocchio leaving, and Pinocchio, thinks his dad doesn't understand, and then ultimately learns, what he was trying to communicate the whole time. And you wouldn't have to get super deep or complicated about it, but I feel like this did move in such a way where you start out in the scene with Geppetto, and that scene is like different from the entire movie because you just spend that whole 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, in one room.
If you didn't know it, you might be like, oh, is this one of those play movies?
Yeah, exactly.
It takes place in this one room.
Yeah, and it's just Tom Hanks, and it's, then it's it's Figaro and Cleo and him, and that sets you into this really kind of gradual beginning, and then once Pinocchio comes to life, it's just like madcap, and we're just moving. And it feels very episodic, and it doesn't give you time. It's like, even though, as I recall, again, the original Pinocchio movie does move you past, it's like not every character that you meet comes back. You kind of spend little interludes with each, but each one leaves its impact, and each one feels like it's part of this fantastical journey. Whereas this doesn't give you hardly any time enough to... It just feels like a bunch of lights and colors whizzing by you.
Yeah.
Rather than, anything challenging for the character. It just it feels oddly more cartoonish, this movie, because it feels just like a bunch of peril thrown at the character. And there's
just like random stumbling into shit.
Yeah, and then they'll break on occasion to be like peer pressure or to say something kind of like very obviously on the nose to like strike a theme without really like living the theme. And even
I'm not sure Zemeckis understood Pinocchio.
It's weird because it's not that hard to understand.
No, it's not.
And even when you're at Pleasure Island, like you have the donkeys, people are transforming and being shipped off to the salt mine, and you get like a couple scenes that demonstrate that, and there's smoke monsters, and then once you leave there, there's nothing about that ever again. And so even the punishment of that, even the sort of like, oh, it's too late and now you are doomed because you've given in to, all your vices and desires, even that doesn't really have much impact because, once he leaves, it's done, and then he tells a couple of good truths, and then his ears go back to normal, and it just feels like everything's always going to be fine. And like even when they wind up inside of Monstro, it's like we were both, I think, sitting there going like, okay, like this creature looks pretty scary, and the scope is really convincing. And then they're only in there for like a minute, like I feel like you get to the sense in the original that they're in there for a while, and they think, well, this is our life now. We're going to perish in here. Oh, wait, no, we're going to find our way out. What's salvation? Whereas here, it's just, sort of another thing. It's just like, well, we're in here, and, okay, well, we got to get out. Let's come up with an immediate solution. And it feels like Jiminy Cricket is the actual lead character of this movie.
And I thought there was the thing they were setting up for Jiminy Cricket that they were going to do different, too. I kept writing what I consider a better movie.
I know.
Which was...
No, yeah,
I'm a
because
pompous asshole. Well, I was like, oh, this Jiminy Cricket guy is kind of just looking out for himself. And he's like, all this fear about, no, I don't want to like learn. Like, oh, what if he has to learn?
yeah, what if
You
he
know?
has to really accept being the conscience?
Like,
And I mean, they just kind of.
They could have made an actual like interesting movie here out of like with reals. I'm not saying make Geppetto like an abusive dad or some shit. Just like I don't really know how to adjust to this. This is exciting at first, but you're not real. You should probably go to school. Like it could have been like
a big
more of a
perilous world too.
instead of just being like, all right, yeah, just go to school.
Well, that thing
It's
too.
like-
He's like,
it's
it's
like weird in live action. Just
you
like,
just came to life last night. Hey, go to school today. I'm not gonna walk you there or be there for any of the process. I'm just
Well,
go.
I think he was alive for a little bit of time, right? Like they had a whole montage of him doing shit.
I guess so.
But still,
I
it was
guess
his
it's a
first
few
time
days.
being like, oh, what is that? That's his son, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I go to school.
Well,
Like,
even
what the
so,
shit?
you would think he would want to at least, I don't know, accompany him just to the first day. Maybe realize that it might be a risk, being like, here's my anthropomorphic puppet son, and he might not be fully understood by everyone. I know that this is the most integrated, 19th century Italian village. But at the same time, yeah, it just undercuts like the actual relationship and the actual care.
And the reaction to live action doll puppet come to life from the world this inhabits. Like Geppetto's like, and everyone's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, you could make me money, or you don't belong in school. Like everyone just looks right past the fact of what he is, which you could have made into like a charming little bit or something. You could have made something out of the misfitness of that, and then played even further up. The other people in the Stromboli show, or the other folks, headed to Pleasure Island. Even that, like that, I'm blanking on the kid's name offhand, but his buddy at Pleasure Island doesn't even really feel like you're really with him. He's just kind of a kid who's near him a lot.
No, it's like I think you could have kept the same runtime and just kind of cut out a couple things and then expanded upon a couple of other things, and you would have had a pretty solid film that would have felt different than the original.
Yeah,
and honoring the original too, and simultaneously, I think you could have done something that does both. That would have just made this more interesting. Instead, I felt like this is surprisingly boring. And
it just doesn't. It doesn't have a pace, and it gets bogged down in the way a lot of Zemeckis films do. The recent ones do for me in feeling overly madcap and overly like a chase. Like there's always like some kind of like over the top shrill sort of chase element. And Pinocchio himself is so like I was torn constantly because the voice performance is so dear and so childlike and so sweet, but it's also kind of one tone the entire time. And like, not that I never felt for it, but I felt like you too could have also really made Pinocchio feel like a real character.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like having a contemplation and wanting to get Dad's approval, and because this whole movie is like, I want to make my father happy.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, what an interesting arc it would have been for him to just realize like he doesn't have to strive to just make his dad happy.
Yeah, I should still be honest and brave and kind, but also I need to find my own path. And yeah, even if my father's worried about me, I can't live only to that tune. And it's funny to me because I would love to know what the difference is over at the Disney camp between the reboots like these that they do for the movie theaters that you can tell they're going to sink tons of resources into, versus these ones that clearly have means and money, but that, I don't know, like there's something...
I think they wanted this to be a theater release originally.
Because it's all there.
But it looks like a made-for-TV movie.
It came...
Or a streaming movie. Slightly above made-for-TV.
Yeah,
There's a good medium there.
And even that, like, again, not to slight Robert Zemeckis, but even this didn't really feel like... We were talking about video game cutscenes and stuff like that, and there's a lot in the camera motion and just in the visual storytelling that is moving and is choices, but that doesn't really feel like it's a tone or a distinct style for this movie.
If anything, I like a lot of those shots. Like they're my favorite parts of the action moments of like Polar Express and A Christmas Carol. I've never seen Beowulf, but
That's the movie.
But those two movies that I have seen from when he ventured into the animation realm, beyond Roger Rabbit, he directed Roger Rabbit, right? He didn't just produce it.
I'm pretty sure he directed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. I sometimes you get those confused. Yeah, directed by him. Okay. Like sometimes like Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride. No.
Oh
Tim Burton
yeah,
actually.
Henry Selick.
A Nightmare
Nobody
Before
ever
Christmas.
acknowledges Henry Selick for
Yeah.
directing half
Or
the things
James and
Tim
the Giant
Burton gets
Peach.
credit for. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when those moving shots happen, a lot of times it's like these slow kind of circle around, and then you stay still, and the character kind of gets jerked into something.
Yeah.
And you follow them through like that's where it adopts a perspective for a moment.
When you're like underwater and you're swirling for a minute,
or just getting like yanked around or some shit.
Yeah.
And Spielberg did the same thing with. I'm pretty sure he probably called up his buddy Zemeckis for Tintin and got some advice. He applied some of that too in Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very specific type of locked off shots that they do that I enjoy those shots a lot. Like I just think they're really cool shots.
Yeah.
And while I like that, yeah, there is not a really distinct flavor to this. It felt disjointed and clumsy, and I like Tom Hanks for the most part, even though I feel like he was just kind of like, fuck it, we're here, I'm getting paid, let's have some fun.
I'm just gonna make up an accent,
committing to my SNL sketch with a little more heart. Well, let's do it.
Yeah,
like I don't feel like he like built like Geppetto from the ground. I feel like he read the script and was like, all right, I'll do it.
I'm gonna do my Tom Hanks thing, and I'll put on the mustache, and I'll kind of come up with an accent, and we'll call it a day.
I'll be as sincere as I possibly can, but I'll have fun with it.
But I'm not gonna spend ages coming up with backstory and
No.
history. Yeah,
I felt like I liked if anything, some of the surprise performers are the ones I really liked a lot. Oh my god, I'm ready to forget his name. The one who first kidnapped Pinocchio and put him in the show. Stromboli, yeah, it was good. Keegan-Michael actually did a really good job with Honest John. The voice work. Not that the character really stood out. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a good job with the voice work as Jiminy Cricket.
I liked him a lot. Yeah,
and the
I
girl.
even liked the Sabina character.
Yeah, the girl.
Her.
Yeah, I thought she did good.
And I loved the whole thing with the marionette and the French accent. And that I was like, maybe this new thing, because they always got to add a new song or something. And I kind of liked the song, and I was like, maybe this will amount to something. But she just kind of shows up at the end, and she's like, "Hey, we're good. We got the puppet show.
Yeah,
later."
No, I didn't understand. It felt like a weird PlayStation video game,
like
the PlayStation, like a bad Kingdom Hearts or some shit.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they finished the script.
No, that's why I said it so early on. Like, I feel like this movie's not finished.
It's really, yeah, and it's like it feels like there's some scenes or beats missing, and they already did and spent the money on like a bunch of set pieces and things.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, I don't know, use what we have, and it's maddening because I'm like, this should have worked, and it shouldn't have been that hard to make it work. Like, Robert Zemeckis seems like a great choice for this. I like the cast they assembled. That blend of CG and real life is perfect for this. You see the trailer, and you're like, this is, of all the Disney remakes, this seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
And
They didn't even let Marcus to a real boy.
No.
Which I kind of like that change. I'm not going to lie. There's something cool about that change.
Yeah, I actually do. Because he doesn't have to be for the emotional resolution to really take hold. Like I feel like that's one of those things that that's the reward after the emotional resolution in the original movie, I would say. So yeah, you don't necessarily need that reward. I was surprised that the Blue Fairy never came back or followed up with Jiminy Cricket. But yeah,
because she comes back and helps at one point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think she helps.
She makes him an official conscience by the end.
And she says, "I can't help." I think. Oh yeah, at the very end, I think she comes in 3 times.
Mm.
I think at the beginning, and then at one point to help out again, and it's like, "I can't help you out though. You got to do this on your own." Some shit like that. I forget what. No. I think you're right. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. They probably saw the backlash for Cynthia Erivo, and they're like, "We can't upset her all right."
But she was great. Like like that is like the least of anyone's worry about this film, truly. And I thought she did a great job.
She was great.
Like I liked her scene. I liked the rhymes. I liked that was when I was thinking like, okay, the whimsy is gonna work. You know, the fun speech and the rhyming and the music and even the effects on her I thought were really lovely and celestial.
You're so much kinder than me. I was like 15 minutes in. I was like, I think it's gonna be bad.
I mean, yeah, there was something in that early scene. Like, 'cause I was not out of it in the opening, but there was something where I was like, I do feel like I'm just kind of watching Tom Hanks do his thing while somebody let the camera roll in rehearsal.
I feel like he remembered his lines today. Good job, Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Yeah. It just never feels like a real movie.
I
movie
had
about a real boy never manages to feel quite like a real movie.
to try to make, because I was like, it looks off about the effects. So we were watching this off the computer, and so I was noticing like, oh, it's on game optimizer mode. So there's some of that motion smoothing happening. So I changed it to filmmaker mode. Be like, okay, this will probably make it look better. And it kind of didn't do it. I was like,
made it look.
It definitely got rid of that motion smoothing thing.
Yeah. Which is weird, yeah. In a world like this, I don't know if it helps or hurts. But yeah, and I mean, you know, props to I do feel like oftentimes that added character, like this, kind of reminded me of a really short version of the Tim Burton Dumbo, which has a lot of the similar issues, and that was a movie where it was like, these human characters that they added in are so tedious, and I get the. It's funny for all the people, you know, freaking out about Pinocchio. I was like, this didn't really like the girl they added in, Sabina. You know, like even that felt like the most natural thing in the whole movie. Weirdly enough.
What would have been great for Pinocchio is if at the end the blue fairy comes to change him into a real boy, and he says, "I'm actually a girl." How
that whole time
great would that have been?
Don't gender my little wooden child. Yeah.
Oh, I would have
Where's the
loved
girl
that
version?
I think they should have reshot it just for that. That would have been hilarious.
Yes.
Just to piss off people.
Oh, see, that's the thing, is this one does have moments where they do break the fourth wall, and they're like, you could be an influencer, peer pressure.
That's what I mean. That's a big
Like-
part of what I mean is like you can't be both with this movie.
No, and
And
those things especially feel so tacked on in a way that it's distracting, and that is more distracting than having a black blue fairy or having, you know, like
There is
a
literally
character added with a disability or whatever.
If you have not seen the original Pinocchio, like I've seen the original Pinocchio a few times, and I'm not like at all feeling like it calls attention that it's a black fairy.
No.
Not one.
She shows up and does her thing.
Not one part of me is like something looks off.
She's a fucking fairy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You know, I would say like it's sometimes if you do a race swap thing, there is a part of my brain that can be like, oh, I'm aware that they've raced. Like sometimes that can go off, or a gender swap, like it can go off and then I adjust. Actually, I think it's like the difference for me is like I can just adjust really fast when that little bell goes off in my head. Like, oh, I'm a little bit aware that they've swapped. Here, I'm like I don't. It just does. It doesn't even. There's nothing to be upset about.
Yeah,
Like, there's
I know.
literally there's nothing to like. It's just it. Yeah, I can't even like find the words right now because it's so. It's such
a
minute.
non-issue.
It's so like not. It's so not a problem that people made it a problem.
It does
because
nothing.
they hate Disney. Yeah.
It does nothing to the story. And yeah, I mean, Disney can be a culprit of shoehorning instead of naturally incorporating inclusivity. They can shoehorn that stuff. And it doesn't feel like that here because it doesn't call attention to it. And again, it doesn't matter. It has no effect on anything.
Oh, this guy wrote Rogue One.
Oh, goody.
And he wrote the original. He wrote Cinderella,
Can he be?
one of the good live-action Disney. I think people really thought they had something in the bag here that would have been a grand slam hit. But
yeah,
I'd be surprised if You know, I wouldn't be surprised if like we get an audience score that's like phenomenal. That is not review bombed by a bunch of racists. But I would be, you know, like I wouldn't be surprised if like the critic score is terrible and the audience score is like still fresh, maybe not like super high.
64,
70s even.
Yeah.
But
I think kids will like this.
Yeah, I know that's the target demographic, but come on. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, wait.
And not that this needs to have that kind of tone, but yeah, I mean, you could have easily made this a quality story and something kids could enjoy.
Sometimes people really lean on some shit to forgive things if you're like, it's just for kids, or it's fun. You know, especially the tone you say it with.
Yeah.
For kids, it's fun.
You know? Stop being such a Grinch.
But we all know that fun movies can be more than just fun, and kids movies can be more than just kids movies.
And the truly memorable ones usually have a bit of both elements.
And for a movie that is clearly, in the trailer itself, clearly playing on the ones that many adults grew up watching.
Yeah.
I think they could have done a much better job.
Just as much for the adults whose childhood is based on this. Yeah. No, this is just as much for the nostalgia Disney adults as it is for a new generation of children.
That was awful.
I'm bummed
I'm
out.
watching a lot of like things I don't like.
Let's watch Welcome to Marwin next.
So many things I'm watching. I'm just like, man, you start watching stuff I like. Anyway, but I don't know. It's wrong when you're reacting to something. You're like, you don't know if you're gonna like it.
Roll the dice. Yeah, no, I feel you.
I'm watching shit I don't like. All right, guys. Well, here we are. What did you think about this you know what I'm saying? The movie. Did you love it? Was it the best movie in the world? I hope you thought so. And I'm trying to pull up.
What remake do you want to hear next?
You don't need to pledge to our Patreon for this movie. Pledge to our Patreon for other things.
Go to the Patreon menu.
There we are.
There you go.
Okay.
Shortcut links. There you go.
All right. Oh, we didn't write it out yet.
Not yet.
Okay. All right. We're doing a Patreon today. Shout out. All right, Andrew Hayes. John selected you.
Andrew Hayes, because if anybody at our Patreon could fit the bill of a puppet come to life, it's you, my friend. I would love an Andrew Hayes puppet just to have, like, oh hey, how's it going? I'm doing a dance. I'm gonna unlock I'm gonna be a locksmith at your house. We're gonna go to Pleasure Island, and then just have all your little cute little limbs on strings and stuff like that, and then make you dance, control your life, make you resent me. I don't know. You just have like an adorable, compact quality about you that I really appreciate. And I think that if this movie had been about you going out into the real world and experiencing the breadth of opportunities, but also the breadth of treachery, it would have been much more engaging. Would have had like a New Jersey kind of flavor to it, but I think that could help, because this didn't even really feel like we were in Italy, so who cares? But I love you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Happy recent birthday, and we'll catch you on the next great Disney movie.